And what's up, everyone? Welcome to Simply Cyber's daily cyber threat brief. Oh man, it is what's the October the 17th. Wow, we're over halfway. Well, or no, I think we are halfway too, right? Right around that Halloween time. It's gonna be a good time had by all kids getting candy, having a lot of fun, dressing up. I got three littles, they're super excited. Hopefully, you're super excited about today because we're gonna talk about some cyber news. We're gonna take a look at the headlines, and you're gonna learn a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to cybersecurity. At least that is the idea. Joining us today as I clear my throats is many wonderful people in the chat, already abuzz with excitement and fun. I'm seeing some great folks already in there. Marcus Kyler's in there, not only IT, Point 1988, Code Brew. What's up, Code Brew? Tony Parrish, thanks for joining. Carrie Chasing, always a good day had when he's in there. He's our everyday James McQuiggan with the dad jokes, that's for sure. Good morning, Phil Stafford. Divine Dream Divine's in the house. Nightbot. I always love Nightbot saying that, which I believe is the bot for Discord. But it's very talkative. I will say that. Who else is in there today? We got Chris Shirk. Good to see you there, Chris. Grady Debonair. Nice to have you in here as well. Man, lots of fun today. We've got a lot of headlines to get through today. But if you're joining us, this is the Daily Cyber Threat Brief number 986. We march forward yet again. You get another half of a CPE credit. That's right. You earn CPE. Well, you earn half a CPE for every episode that you watch. I believe what you need to do is take a screenshot of some way, shape, or form, keep that in a folder, and at the end of the year, you take that number of screenshots that you have and you divide by 2. Right? Or you multiply by 2. That's right. Math. Is my nose bleeding? Because math happened. And that typically is the follow-up to when I have to do math. But there you go. And you'll earn those CPEs, and then you can use those for various and sundry reasons. As we know, some certifications and organizations do enjoy their CPEs to go along with that stuff. So really cool stuff there. Yeah, hope everybody's having a great day. I know I am. I'm fired up. I'm ready to rock, ready to read some news. I already had to go through the headlines just to see what the headlines were and get the websites pulled up in my browser so we can share those things together. Sounds like it's going to be a bit of a spicy day. Microsoft. Oh, Microsoft. I don't know what you do with your life behind the scenes, but it's obviously weird, and it's obviously all about messing with us, the people. We're going to talk about them today. That's for sure. Oh, man. Let's see here. What else do we need to go through? There's always some house cleaning stuff. I'm just taking a look at chat and see who all's in there. Cyber Risk Witch is in the house. Says, sorry, but Master Packet sounds like something else. Okay, well, yes, it does. But yeah, my old Core Light shirt. I do. Everybody enjoys this shirt. I'll tell you what, everybody today should reach out to Core Light and say, listen, that Master Packet shirt that you got going on, it's all like Metallica looking. That thing is fire. And you need to get in the hands of more people. That's all there is to it. More printing, more better. Make that shirt, make it happen, because it's awesome. Everybody seems to like it. So happy Friday, everyone. That said, I do believe we have some bills to pay, right? We got to keep the lights on, as Jerry likes to do. It's one of the main reasons that he can afford to have people come on and do things and put on. Hey, I didn't know if you know this, but there's a little con that Jerry's putting on. It's coming up real soon. It's called Simply CyberCon. And it's going to be in Charleston, South Carolina. That's right. November the 2nd, I believe it is. You know what? I can always pull that up. Let me go looking that up so we can make sure you get the deets on that. Simply CyberCon. Then I'll make sure that we can take a look at that together. There it is. We can together have fun. There we go. Simply CyberCon 2025. It's going to be a con like no other, and it makes you feel like you're coming home, having a great time with your friends, getting to hear some cool talks, talking the cyber stuff. And it's the great thing about cons for me is that you have the ability to just kind of roundtable stuff and move through groups. Jerry and I, we always talk about the circle, because it always starts off as a little circle of 3, maybe 4 people. and you're talking stuff and you're going, oh man, did you see that? What are you doing next year? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then somebody kind of starts creeping along the side and you're like, hey, come on into the circle. And then you expand the circle a little bit bigger and conversation is had. And I can't tell you how much I've grown from doing that type of thing over the years in my knowledge, my understanding, my experience, the meeting new people, making new friends. This is what it's all about, right? So if you have the means and you have the opportunity, get your butt out there because it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. I will be there. Lots of people going to be there. Michelle Khan's going to be there. I know that Tyler Ramsey's going to be there. I heard this guy, Gerald something or other, not sure. Sounds like some sort of dweeb, right? Tech nerd. He'll be there, I guess. But there's the logistics of it. Whoa, that's not the right thing, Daniel. That's the right thing. There we go. Let's see here. There you go. November 2nd is the training day, and November 3rd is the main conference. So if you can, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It's going to be food for you there. Breakfast and lunch will be provided on the conference day, Monday, November 3rd. And yeah, we also have an official Discord for it. So if you want to go grab that and get plugged in, you absolutely can. Very cool stuff. There's your get your tickets kind of thing. All right there. Register. And all you got to do is go to simplycybercon.org to find this page. All right. That said, like I said, we got to pay some bills. So let's do it. Let me click that. What I do with the ad read, there it is. This word from our sponsors.
Want to give some love to Fortify 365, the Microsoft 365 configuration solutions from Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber brings you all the knowledge in the incident response form, but they are also quite adept at helping you configure and set those protection controls for your M365 instance. Go to fortify365.com today to talk to Eric Taylor and the team over at Barricade Cyber and make sure that you are taking full advantage of all the configurable security controls that you have in your M365 instance. Fortify365.com today. Also want to give some love and some shouts to Anti-Siphon Training. Holla, holla, holla at Anti-Siphon Training, the group that is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education at a discounted rate for so many people out there. Their rates are insane. Some of their courses free or pay what you can. It's amazing. Go to antisyphontraining.com today. Check their upcoming live training, their on-demand training, government and military discounts. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I love it. Maybe not government and military discounts. I made a mistake. They've just aligned their training to the NIST NICE framework. Also pretty awesome. Thank you, antisyphontraining.com. And of course, as always, we've got ThreatLocker kicking it. We'll hear from them and then back to the news. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Hero support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber.
And we're back. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for recording that so that I don't have to attempt to do ad reads because I will not do them as well as you. But that said, it is time for us to kind of get into the news. It is time to do it. So let me see if I can make this thing work first here. Let me do this. We'll turn that back on. I'm going to do a little flippy floppy so that it's bigger than me. And now we shall hear from the one, the only, Steve Prentice.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, October 17th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. Sotheby's suffers cyberattack. The world-famous auction house says the breach occurred on July 24th, resulting in the theft of, quote, an unspecified amount of data, including social security numbers and financial account information, end quote. Spokespeople said the company is not aware of who was behind the attack, but added that the attackers broke in despite the company having, quote, layered defenses, strict access controls, secure connections, and advanced threat protections, end quote, along with regularly patched systems, testing of internal incident response plans, backups, critical services, vetted vendors, and a security-trained workforce.
Well, that's just nuts, as it always is. But kind of interesting, right? That they go after an auction house. But this is, it sounded like they had a lot of security going on, and yet they were still breached. That would probably tend to make some people go, we spent all this money on security, and you told us that was worth it. And here we are staring down the barrel of this breach. What's up again? And their security people are probably like, well, here's the thing. It probably would have happened sooner, faster, and worse if we didn't have those controls into place. But hey, nothing's perfect. We didn't guarantee you, because I guarantee they didn't guarantee that they could guarantee that the breach wouldn't happen. So that's a lot of use of the word guarantee, which is an interesting spell. I always mess up spelling that. All right, so let's see here. Obviously, Sotheby's known really well for auctioning off fine art, luxury items to the super duper wealthy people out there in the world. People that have so much money they literally don't know how to spend it, so they buy stuff that normal people can't, because why not? And they stick it on a shelf somewhere and go, look at the super expensive thing I bought. This says the multinational broker of fine art luxury items said it is not aware of who was behind the attack. Bummer. But confirmed in a filing that the state's attorney general's office this week that 2 Maine residents were affected by the breach. Only 2? And that is another interesting thing about this one, right? Is that how I wonder how many clients they actually have. But then, of course, they might not have a large amount of clients, but the clients they have, their PII is probably worth a lot of money to an attacker because they're wealthy people. And now they can go after those wealthy people. They have the means, if they were able to breach these people, or that since they've been able to breach Sotheby's and get that PII. Did they say what kind of PII they actually had? I don't remember if I heard that. Oh yeah, there was Social Security numbers and financial account information. So yeah, that's a problem. That is no bueno. Amish Brain says, you mean like your guitars, Daniel? Man, that is chump change to the people that buy stuff from Sotheby's. That is absolutely nothing. They're like, I've only got like $45,000 on me at any given time, right? That is how they roll. So I wish I had. I mean, I'm not that kind of person. Really care to have ultra wealthy money. I just like to be able to pay my bills. That's nice. And every now and then take my kids on a vacation or something, and do something with my wife, take her to a nice dinner. If I have that kind of money in life, I'm fairly happy. But these people are absolutely in a pickle because that's what's up. They are high value targets. This says the letter reads, talking about a letter to those affected reads like this: we have administrative and technical safeguards in place to protect the information through layered defenses, strict access controls, secure connections, and advanced threat protections. We regularly patch, test our internal incident response plans, back up critical service, vet our vendors, and train our workforce to ensure security is built into how we do it. I guess they just now throw their hands up. Do we all just do that? Again, welcome to, like, we're all just kind of gathering around the cybersecurity dumpster fire this morning and warming ourselves and go, feels good. I love when we do everything right and still get popped. It's always fun. Something went wrong, obviously. There's a weak link in the chain. I would assume that this was an extremely targeted attack because they are doing so many things right. This was not a crime of opportunity. This was somebody said, I'm getting into Sotheby's. I will find a way. I noticed they didn't say anything about hardware tokens. That's a great way to make it a whole lot more difficult to people get access to your systems. And of course, they're going to do all sorts of things. They're going to review these safeguards and be good. They're going to be good little boys and girls and not make bad things happen again. London founded New York headquartered company affected individuals 12 months worth of credit. Oh, isn't that nice? like these clients, they've got credit monitoring. They've already got all that. Heck, I've got credit monitoring because of all the 16 breaches I've been a part. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. That's how you're going to regain my trust, with some free credit monitoring? All right. Moving on. Still do the right thing. Starting the day off right. Okay, going to the next thing. Let's do it.
Hackers exploit Cisco SNMP flaw in Zero Disco attacks. Researchers at Trend Micro are warning of a campaign codenamed Operation Zero Disco that has exploited a security flaw that impacts Cisco iOS software and iOS XE software to deploy Linux rootkits on older, unprotected systems. This flaw, which was patched by Cisco last month, has a CVE number and a CVSS score of 7.7. It is a Stack Overflow vulnerability in the Simple Network Management Protocol subsystem, that is SNMP. The intrusions have not been attributed to any known threat actor or group.
All right, so this is a fun one. Hackers deploying Linux rootkits via Cisco SNMP flaw in Zero Disco attacks. So it said it was a buffer overflow attack. Those are always fun. Those are always a good time had by all. And you'll notice that it does say that this is deployed Linux rootkits on older unprotected systems. That immediately caught my eye. So here's a okay. So this is where it gets fun. I would love to be a part of, because I've been there, right? I've been in the seat where we're going, hey, we need to upgrade some stuff in offices because they're older, they're not as well protectable as we would have if we had something new. And they went, does it work? I go, well, technically, yes, it works. It switches, it routes, it does whatever. But here's the thing, security. And they go, nah, and you're like, no, listen, hold on. Stop with the dismissing. And I hear your tone, Bob. But here's the real thing of it. If we keep letting these things happen, there's a thing called risk. And it's fun because it all boils down to like likelihood and impact. And it's on this little scale. I don't know if you can see that. That's it. Likelihood and impact. And it goes, it goes up the longer. It goes up toward more likelihood with stronger impact, the more we keep this kind of thing laying around. So let's just start upgrading, or let's create some sort of like update or upgrade cycle. And they're like, that's dumb. That's just money. And I don't like to spend money. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so older unprotected stuff. This is a buffer overflow. This is where you can, and in the Simple Network Management Protocol, nonetheless. That's cool. And that's really useful for things like networking equipment where you have something to the akin of, I don't know, SolarWinds, right? So you can use SolarWinds. I can deploy a bunch of routers and switches and things of that nature. And I can use SNMP to hook into SolarWinds to check on things like, is it up? Are there things that are going wrong? Is it, something simple as a ping? I can check thermal readings from the CPU and things of that nature, how much RAM is being used. There's a lot of different things that SNMP can do. And then I can plug that into my SolarWinds board and keep an eye on it. And anytime something goes haywire or loses connectivity, it'll give me an alert. You can set all those things up. It's really cool. And now it's being used as the backdoor into your system. CVSS score of 7.7. So not like critical, but still something you want to take a look at. Now, it does say that it could allow an authenticated remote attacker, so they would have to have some authentication at that point in time, to send a crafted SNMP packet to susceptible devices. The intrusions have not been attributed to any known threat actor or group. Okay, well, that's not good, right? We want to figure out who the heck figured this out and is doing it. And, of course, the shortcoming was patched late last month, but not before. Of course, not before it was exploited as a 0-day in real-world attacks. Well, that's good to know. Well, okay, we've got a patch. Get out there, patch your systems. As Jerry would say, you got to patch it, right? You got to patch it. And then, is it Billy Mays that's thrown on there? Or the Billy Mays, like, the guy that took over for Billy Mays? It's like Timu Billy Mays. let's see here. The operator primarily impacted Cisco 9400, 9300, and legacy 3750G series devices, and additional attempts to exploit a modified telnet vulnerability. Oh, there's a throwback from 2017 to enable memory access. So telnet is a service that can and does run on Cisco devices, and apparently you can manipulate it to let you say, hey, what's in that memory you got there? What you storing anything interesting? Let me take a look under the hood, as it were. All right. Cybersecurity company also noticed that the rootkits allowed attackers to achieve remote code execution and gain persistent unauthorized access by setting universal passwords and installing hooks into the Cisco iOS daemon memory space. Runs as a software process within the Linux kernel. Boy, this is just fun, isn't it? Another notable aspect of the attack is that the singled out victims running older Linux systems that do not have endpoint detection and response solutions enabled, making it possible to deploy the rootkits in order to fly under the radar. So see, this is where the security stuff is good. They would not have been able to be effective, or at least as effective, I hedge my bets a little bit there, if you were running I know, so I see Phil Stafford's like, Telnet, WTF? It's a thing. It's a thing. People go, man, you know what I love? Easy buttons, fun. And it's like, I hear that and I see it. But just hear me out. Let's play pretend for just a second. This is where these things called tabletop exercises come into play. So it's nice to get people in the room every now and then and say, hey, you know what? Let's play a scenario. Let's do some threat modeling. Won't that be fun, kids? Huh? And you get some hand puppets out and you're like, hi, I'm threat actor Russian Bob. Oh, we're company B and we blah blah blah. And you show them like, where in your computer systems did the bad Russian hurt you? And then you point to it and you see, this is not good. It feels like you have to go that level sometimes to reach people with large bank accounts and ability to run the business and make the decisions, because technology just seems like a big box of scary to them. And they just go, if it's working, don't touch it. And to some extent, that's the right idea, but we have to teach them. We have to coax them. That's called buy-in, kids. It's a fun thing. All right, let's move on, because, there's lots more to this story about getting past AAA services and disabling log history. And this is what they do with their rootkit once they get access to this lovely thing. So, very, very cool. And by cool, I mean horrible. Moving on, let's get to the next one, which is about Microsoft. It'll be good.
Microsoft revokes more than 200 certificates to disrupt ransomware campaign. A campaign is being run by Vanilla Tempest, also known as Vice Spider and Vice Society, with the goal of deploying Ricida ransomware. The group has been in operation since 2021 and chiefly performs ransomware attacks on the education and healthcare sectors. Microsoft says it disrupted the group's campaign in early October by revoking more than 200 certificates that the group used to sign their malware. Victims were attracted to installer websites through SEO poisoning.
So there you go. These are always fun. So actually, this is a feather in the cap of Microsoft for us at this point, right? This is a good thing. Microsoft is like, hey there, ransomware campaign people. We got a little thing. We see that you're using some bad stuff there. You got some signed code, do you there? And we're just gonna revoke that because you don't need it anymore. And that's gonna be a good time had by all. And then they start to complain. Of course, they're just gonna re-sign stuff, but really interesting attack vector here. So it disrupted a Vanilla Tempest. This is a super small. There we go. Let's make it to where people can read it, not just eagles. Also known as Vice Spider and Vice Society, has been around since at least 2021, mainly known for ransomware attacks on the education and healthcare sectors. Well, that's fun. Let's see here. So ransomware. We love ransomware stuff. So let's get back down to where they actually, according to the tech giant, the hackers signed fake Microsoft Teams setup files. So think about it. You're a company, you're like, hey, I got somebody that you need to install Teams, right? And that probably right there was the onboarding process to quite a few companies. Oh, yeah, we use Teams. And so the individual goes out, tries to find Teams, does some searching for it, and due to some crafty SEO poisoning, they land on the wrong Teams installer. Welcome to ransomware time, right? That's the kind of how these things go. So, according to the tech giant, they faked Microsoft Teams setup files designed to install a backdoor named Oyster, which in turn that would enable them to deploy the Resida ransomware. Okay, so they get the backdoor first, and then ransomware comes a little bit later once they know they're on the right system and that it was actually worth, ransomwaring things. The fake Teams installers were delivered through websites hosted on domains such as teamsdownload.buzz and teamsinstall.run. All right, so teamsdownload.buzz, I mean, come on, man. Like, are we not even trying? If I saw teamsdownload.buzz, I would probably set my computer on fire. Like, it's like, no. Where's the Bronsons? Isn't that it? Isn't that the Robinsons? The Robinsons lighter fluid. Just spray it down. Woof. Watch it go up in a fiery blaze. Now, teamsinstall.run, that's a bit better. I think that's a better one. Victims were likely lured to these through SEO poisoning. Okay, the victims then ran fake Teams setup files, executed a loader that downloaded a signed version of the Oyster backdoor. So that bypasses, a lot of security. Hey, it's signed. We're good. Which has been used by Vanilla Tempest since at least 2025. No, June 2025. This is 2025. Let's see here. But they started signing the backdoor in early September. To fraudulently sign the fake installers and post-compromised tools, Vanilla Tempest was observed using trusted signing as well as SSL.com, DigiCert, and Global Sign Code Services. So, okay. Microsoft actions make the malware distributed by Vanilla Tempest easier to detect and block. An immediate impact on the cybercrime operations may be significant, but the threat actors will likely rearm with new certs. It's the cat and mouse game. Don't we love playing it? Isn't it fun? Today, we're the cat. Now they get to be the mouse. They have to go like, they revoked our certs. All right, let's do some certs. Let's re-sign. Let's have some fun here. And they're going to take some work. And it's like any other business, right? They don't call it ransomware as a service. All these things are run like businesses. They hire employees. They've got middle management. It's insane when you look under the hood of actual cybercrime. It's like, oh yeah, I know. It's same kind of thing. I find it odd. I don't hear stories too much about them hacking each other. Like, if they got all this money, start going after each other. Weird. I guess honor amongst thieves, right? And that's what they call it. Oh man. Alrighty. So that's an interesting one. Super fun. We're almost at the mid-roll. We got one more story to get through. Let's hit this one on LastPass.
LastPass says it has not been hacked amidst phishing email scam. A phishing campaign used the subject line, "We have been hacked, update your LastPass desktop app to maintain vault security." And this was sent from email addresses that included the word LastPass as part of their domain. The link in this fake warning email purports to take potential victims to a new desktop app site, but instead goes to a phishing site. While LastPass works to have the domain taken down, Cloudflare has posted warning pages in front of the site, advising visitors that these sites are phishing pages.
Steve Prentice has got to stop putting such long, pregnant pauses in between his sentences. Sometimes he catches me. I'm like, it's not the end. It's just still that article. But yeah, there we go. LastPass warns customers it has not been hacked. I could see why they would have to go out of their way to let people, because I don't know if y'all remember, but a few years ago, it was a dumpster fire over at LastPass. They had some problems. It wasn't pretty. So now people are more like, oh, LastPass got hacked. Oh, what up, Snapdog? Password manager LastPass that says it has not been hacked. Please, it's a phishing campaign. They're just trying to get you to. And, hats off again, very creative when it comes to those ransomware actors or, phishing, social engineering, whatever it is they're trying to do. Let's see here. It says, we have been hacked. Update your LastPass app to maintain vault security. And of course, they tell you where to go and just install this update, which is actually a different, it's guaranteed that's what's up. Malicious actor. Okay, so this is an attempt on the part of a malicious actor to draw attention to generate urgency in the mind of the recipient. Welcome to social engineering. That's what social engineering is. That's how it works. I get you frantic. I get you freaking out. And when you're freaking out, your decision-making skills go in the toilet. And comic tactic for social engineering phishing game. Yeah, of course it is. Here it is. It's super blurry because, whatever. Let's not use high resolution images. I can see right here. Looks a lot like I don't know if yeah, you can see my yay. It looks like a link, and that's what they're going to want you. Yeah, it says update. You guys probably can't see it because it's tiny. I can barely read it. Updating is simple. Download the update app and it has a link. Fun. The link in the email purports to take potential victims to a new desktop app site, which will instead redirect victims to a phishing site hosted at lastpassdesktop.com. See, that's a good typo squat right there, right? That's good. That's the good stuff. LastPassGazette.blog. Okay, because you ended it with .blog, there might be some credence. Now, you probably could still be pretty. And then, of course, LastPassDesktop.app. Fire. I mean, that's very tricky. That's very, very tricky. LastPass said it could be used in the future iterations of this campaign because, yeah, that's a really good URL. It appears that the threat actor has used NiceNick to host the phishing site. Of course, security firms said it was working to have the domain taken down as soon as possible, and Cloudflare has posted warning pages in front of the site advising visitors that these sites are phishing pages. So a lot of good stuff already happening, already going on. That is this article, not one password phishing scams. Good to know that, hey, if you're out there and you're using LastPass or you receive something that tells you, hey, you need to update LastPass, man, that's what's up. Well, what was the actual fish again? We have not been, or that we have been hacked. You need to update now. That's not true. That's a bald-faced lie and from the depths of hell. All right. So there you go. Fun. That's a kind of a fun article, honestly. But let's go ahead. And we are at that mid-roll, kids. It is time. And yeah, play the music. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, man, I miss it so bad. I know we all do, right? We miss the music. This whole copyright thing. I get it. Simple Minds wants their money. Maybe Jerry can reach out to them and they'd be willing to do some sort of deal. I think you can license it. But until then, that's where we are. But let's give a little shout out to today's sponsors. Thank you so much to Barricade Cyber Solutions, ThreatLocker, Delete Me, Anti-Siphon, and Flare. Without you, this show would be a whole lot less. So we appreciate you out there, sponsors, for helping us, and we promote you and do all the cool things. Check all these things out. Like I like to say, avail yourself of these resources. You need to go check out each one of them. If I'm not mistaken, links to all of them are in the descriptions. Fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how Jerry rolls with these episodes. And you can go to each one of these things and see what do they have to offer, what kind of cool stuff do they do, and hey, maybe something actually is a right fit for you. And now you can get connected, do the thing, and there you go. Or if you know somebody, you can go, you know what you need? Barricade Cyber Solutions. That's what's up. This dude, Eric Taylor, cool as hell. You're going to love it, man. He's got that fire and you just need it right now. You've been, mulling about what X, Y, and Z that Barricade Cyber Solutions can help you out with left, right, and center. So let's just go ahead and get you together, right? That's how that works. So very, very cool. And as we like to do in the mid-roll, every day of the week, Jerry has something special for each one of those days. And today, it's all about that James McQuiggan, right? Dad Jokes Friday. That's what we're looking at today. And it is James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. He's got me some dad jokes. I just got to go grab them. Here they are right here. Are we ready for today's dad jokes from Mr. James McQuiggan? He is in C3B. I think that's the right seat, the nice seat, the best seat, the one seat you want to get if you're going on an airplane ride. And let me tell you what, this guy hates airplanes. I would rather take a butt whipping than get on an airplane because that's pretty much what it feels like when I get done. So yeah, not fun. I don't know how James does it, to be honest with you. I can't stand it. But here it goes. For today, we've got, okay, here are the dad jokes for today. Why do programmers prefer dark mode and working in the dark? Why do programmers prefer dark mode and working in the dark? Because light attracts bugs. Oh, boom, right? Nice one. That's actually pretty funny. Light attracts bugs. Bugs bad. That's why you use AI to help you pair program now, right? I vibe coded something yesterday. I It is kind of cool that I no longer have to be good at coding. I can let AI be not good at coding and make things a whole lot faster than I can, or make crappy things a whole lot faster than I can, but they work. Done is better than perfect. All right, here's the next one. Why was Jerry so upset when he rented a limousine for the wedding, but it didn't come with a driver? Why was Jerry so upset when he rented a limousine for the wedding, but it didn't come with a driver? He he nothing to chauffeur it. He said, I know, it was a stretch. He nothing to chauffeur it. To chauffeur it. I got you. It took a second, man. He was stretching that one pretty good, but it hit, it finally it dropped. It was nice. Okay. And then the last one for today. Why was there a baguette in a cage in the zoo? Why was there a baguette in a cage in the zoo? It was bred in captivity. I like that one. That's my favorite one today. Great job, James. We ended with a banger. That one was super funny, actually. Very clever, very clever. I love clever stuff, and that, my friends, was clever. Super fun. All right, let's get back to this news thing. Oh yeah, we also got to hear about Vanta because Vanta.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Vanta. What's your 2 a.m. security worry? Is it, do I have the right controls in place? Or, are my vendors secure? Or, the really scary one, how do I get out from under these old tools and manual processes? Enter Vanta. Vanta automates manual work so that you can stop sweating over spreadsheets, chasing audit evidence, and filling out endless questionnaires. Their trust management platform continuously monitors your systems, centralizes your data, and simplifies your security at scale. Vanta also fits right into your workflows, using AI to streamline evidence collection, flag risks, and keep your program audit ready all the time. With Vanta, you get everything you need to move faster, scale confidently, and get back to sleep. Get started at vanta.com/headlines. That is VANTA.com/headlines. Windows 11 updates break localhost HTTP2 connections. The October Windows 11 updates from Microsoft appear to have broken the localhost functionality, making applications that connect back to 127.0.0.1 over HTTP2 no longer function properly. Developers commonly use localhost to test websites or debug applications, but it can also be used by applications that need to connect to a locally running service to perform some action or query. After having installed Tuesday's patch, some users are no longer able to complete HTTP connections to the local host. This impacts applications such as Visual Studio debugging, SSMS Entra ID authentication, and the Duo desktop app, which verifies device security posture and requires connections back to web servers running on the local host.
Okay, so you remember how we gave Microsoft a feather in their cap because they did the whole cert rev thing against those ransomware groups or whatever that code signing so and so's. Yeah, we're gonna take that back. They lost it, right? They're like that kid in class that's usually got his name on the board, and every now and then we get to go erase one of the check marks next to their name and go, "Good job! I saw you shared your lunch with your friend. That was good." And then they smacked him in the back of the head and shoved him down the slide. And you're like, Billy, what are you? Okay, so here we are, Microsoft, my Billy. So they breaking things again. Yesterday they broke stuff. Today they break stuff. This last patch cycle has been fun, right? Oh man, I had to wait for it yesterday. My laptop was updating. I'm like, oh, come on. I just could hear the fans just, it was like a jumbo jet just trying to take off. All right, let's see here. So it's breaking a connect over 27001 over HTTP2. It's not functioning properly anymore. And this is kicking some dev butt because they use that for testing quite often. It's also breaking other stuff. Let's see here. Where was it at? Oh, yeah, here we go. The bug has impacted widely used applications also like Visual Studio debugging, SSMS Enter ID authentication. That doesn't sound like a problem. And the Duo desktop app, which I've never used or heard of, honestly, because whatever. Which version, which it tells me what it does, which verifies device security posture and requires connections back to web servers running on the local host. Oh, that's not an issue at all. Thanks, Microsoft. So apparently Bill and I can never remember the CEO of Microsoft's name at this point, but they hired their sister's kid or something to write updates at this point. And, he's special. We love him. I mean, he's a sweetheart of a guy, but he started experimenting himself with vibe coding, with patches. He's vibe coding patches. That's what's happening right now. After performing Windows updates for Windows 11, 24H2, and 25H2, which both of my PCs are both going, hey, I've got that 25H2. You want to install? I'm like, no, I'm good. And you're like, whoa, Daniel, you're not updating? Well, my security updates are good. So that's that. This is more of an update for this kind of stuff. And I like to give it like a week to make sure things like this don't happen. And then, of course, you have AV and EDR and all the other fun stuff. Those are called secondary security controls. Say it with me, kids. Secondary security controls that are in place. We do not lean on one thing to secure our stuff. We make a layered defense. Fun, right? Okay, cool. It says this may prevent successful authentication or limited functionality or result in limited functionality in situations where following are in use. Trusted endpoint policies, such as the Duo desktop and device health policy. Duo desktop is authentication method, Duo password. So anybody working with Duo desktop right now is just like, I'm going home. I'll see y'all. I'm done. I'm done today. I've teched all the tech I can tech today because legit, forget your life. All right, Born City suggested the following registry entries to help resolve this problem. Okay, so there's some workaround. You can do some registry fun. Throw that in there. Enable HTTP2 clear text and enable HTTP2 TLS. All right, so some options you can throw at it. Another method that some claim resolved the problem was install the latest Microsoft Defender Intelligence update. That's interesting. However, others reported that it has not fixed their issue. So it's roll the dice. I mean, give that a whirl. See what it does. Instead, the only sure way to resolve the bug has been to uninstall KB 5066835 and KB 5065789. So just go ahead and yoink those, and there's how you do that right there. WUSA/uninstall, give it the KB, and say hasta. After uninstalling the updates and restarting Windows, the loopback interface should once again start working. So I'm assuming that someone said, hold on, before you walk out of the door, we found you're like, dang it, I was going to go home and watch The Simpsons or something, but now I got to do this. All right, so if you've got some issues right now with some of these things like Duo Desktop, or if you're a web dev and things aren't quite working like you had hoped they would, maybe you can go in and try some of these resolutions to get it fixed up. All right, moving on to the next article. Dairy farmers, fun.
Dairy Farmers of America confirms June breach. The organization stated that cybercriminals from the Play group gained access to the information of employees and members of the cooperative during their June attack, which involved numerous manufacturing plants within its network. A breach notification filed with regulators in Maine said that the personal information of more than 4,500 people was exposed, including PII, driver's license or state-issued ID numbers, and bank account numbers. The organization said in a letter to victims that the gang gained access through, quote, a sophisticated social engineering campaign, end quote.
All right, dairy farmers getting hit. Where is Kathy Chambers, right? When we need her. Because that's what her PhD is in, like ag and cybersecurity. So this is like right up her alley. I wish we had her today for this specific article. Kathy Chambers, assemble! Right, and we're gonna make the call to arms for her. Let's see here. The dairy farmers said that they have breached systems. That's an interesting thing, right? That they're going after dairy farms. And if you think about it, dairy farm is an agriculture thing, like we've kind of already expressed. Agriculture is what we like to call a critical system, right? A critical infrastructure. If we don't do agriculture well, people don't eat. And when people don't eat, that causes instability in the land. So that's a problem. We need to straight up be, I mean, and this is where, okay, we've called for Kathy Chambers. We also now need to call for Mike Holcomb. Right. This is the team we need bringing to the stage right now so that we can figure out, okay, what can we do? What are the things that we need to look out for? And how do we keep this from happening in the future? Because obviously now they're just leaking personal data. It's not like they're shutting down dairy farms, but maybe it does. You never know. I mean, that's what happened with Colonial Pipeline. They didn't technically like attack the manufacturing system of those or the delivery system of the pipelines themselves. They gained access into their IT systems, but they shut down everything as a precaution just in case they were in those systems. So it could still disrupt a lot of things. And guess what that does? Drives prices up, makes the economy hurt, right? And that's no bueno. That's not what we want. We want the opposite of that. We want things running smoothly, so easily and cheaply that the prices can come down and we can go, yay. You know, I did buy a gallon of milk the other day for like $2.69, I want to say. Right. Yeah, I was like, yeah, well, that's what's up. I'm gonna go for that. Hopefully, this does not like destroy that. All right, so let's see here. What do we know about this? They confirmed that the outlet dairy herd management in June had multiple manufacturing plants within its network were dealing with a ransomware attack. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they actually do have a lot of money. So let's see here. All right. It says on Thursday, the organization filed breach notifications with regulators in Maine, explaining that the personal information of 4,500-ish people was exposed during the attack, and information stolen included social security numbers, driver's license, state-issued IDs, dates of birth, bank account numbers. Oh, man. And medical or Medicaid number. That's not good. That's not good at all. That's a problem. So those poor people, they're probably going to be looking at some ID theft here quite shortly. Kansas-based organization of farmers-owned dairy cooperative that markets and sells milk and ancillary products produced by its 9,500 farmer owners. It has about 19,000 employees and $24.5 billion in revenue in 2022. And they produce 23% of all the U.S. milk. Whoa. Letters to the victims of the breach, the organization discovered the hackers breached their network 2 days after the attack began. So they look like from what they're saying, they were quick on the draw. So that's good. That means they had good alerting. They had good detection. That's all excellent. If we can believe it, we'll take it for face value until they come out in a couple of weeks and tell us different. The cyber criminals gained access through a sophisticated social engineering campaign. You mean they fished you, right? They legit just sent you do you want to see your favorite celebrity in a compromising position? Click here. And they did. So, some dairy farmers are like, heck yeah, I want to see that. That sounds amazing. Just go ahead and click this little link. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Ah, man, she's beautiful. And who's that guy in the back? Right? Like, that's how that probably went down. Well, that's how that could have went down, at least in my twisted imagination. The organization's investigation into the incident was completed on September 15th. Victims were given 2 years of identity protection from people they're probably already receiving identity protection from. Like, why is that the go-to thing? I mean, I get it. We need the identity protection because of all the PII that was stolen, but it's like, nah, bro, yeah, like give me 2 months worth of free milk or something. You know what I mean? Give me a voucher to Walmart or Publix or a gift card. That's how you say my bad. I legit already have that should be a thing, right? They should make it to where you can, if you don't already have identity protection services, then you can opt for a $20 Publix gift card or whatever, right? I mean, come on. If I've already got it, what good is giving me more of it do me? Nothing. I literally get nothing out of this other than my personal identifying information stolen. Thanks, Dairy Farmers of America or whoever it was. Oh, I gotta move on. I gotta move on. All right, moving on. Moving on. Goodness gracious. What's the next article?
Microsoft warns of a 32% surge in identity hacks from stolen passwords. In its 85-page Digital Defense Report 2025, Microsoft points to the continued success of password attacks that allow hackers to take over victim accounts. It says that, quote, hackers are increasingly using stolen identities to breach organizations, impersonating employees or contractors before stealing data and launching ransomware. This according to new research, end quote. The 32% surge means that 97% of identity attacks are password attacks. Amy Hogan-Burney, a corporate vice president at Microsoft, added that, quote, the vast majority of malicious sign-in attempts an organization might receive are via large-scale password guessing attempts. Attackers get usernames and passwords for these bulk attacks, by and large, from credential leaks, end quote.
Steve, I swear, you and those pregnant pauses. I'm always like, nope, I can hear him breathing still. So much fun. All right, so Microsoft, trying to get their check mark back off the board, is saying, hey, let me warn you a little bit about a 32% surge in identity attacks that is mainly driven by stolen passwords. Right? Now, one of the things that I complain about when it comes to cybersecurity news reads and things like that is that we tend to just focus on the breach itself, and we don't. A lot of people, Jerry does, and that's one of the reasons I really enjoy his show, is that they're just going, oh yeah, and they should have done this and they should have done that, but not in a constructive way. I like being constructive. It's fun to tear down the threat actors. It's fun to tear down the attacks that happen, and it's fun to kind of like gently rib whoever had something happen, unless it was just completely horrible. But let's always remember to go, okay, so if passwords have surged identity attacks by 32% because password stealing is a thing, what can I do to bring that number back down? And how do we get buy-in from people that are out there that are going, whatever, right? I feel like that's kind of the problem, is we have such a standard playbook by which we think of breaches. I would venture a guess that most people, when they receive a breach notification, go delete. Who cares? Whatever. They don't change their password. They don't do anything unless the company legit forces them the next time they log in to change that stolen password, that stolen PII information. Then they're not going to worry about it. That's just how people are, because they don't understand that a lot of times we need to kind of force them in, and then they start to complain. I get it. Listen, I've been on the end of those help desk calls of people going, this is so difficult. And I go, right, it is difficult for those attackers to get in because of this. It's really difficult. It makes it much more difficult for attackers to breach our systems because of this. And then you don't hear another word about it after that. And they'll call back next month when they're locked out of their account again because they did whatever, or the password is expired and they need to do whatever. I used to do this once a month. I had people calling every first of the month. We had new people, right? And that's what they would say. Oh, this is such a pain. I'm like, right, man. Don't you love how much of a pain it is for these attackers to be able to pop our systems because we make you change your password? And that's what they're like. Oh yeah, okay, you got me. I see what you did there, Daniel. So there you go. That's I'm just kind of pre-gaming this. So Microsoft 85-page digital defense report covers dozens of pertinent cybersecurity issues related to ransomware, nation-state attacks, AI, and more. But they said the one statistic that stood out more than most others was the continued success of password attacks that allowed hackers to take over victim accounts. Despite growing sophistication of cyber threats, more than 97% of incidents attacks are password attacks. That's because why get out there and invent something difficult to invent when I don't need to? Why go around my elbow to get to my butthole when I can just go, your password's not password one. Yeah, it is password one. Okay, cool beans, like that. You're not reusing that. You are reusing that. Excellent. No 2FA. Oh, even better. That's what's up, right? So why would they jump to something more sophisticated? It doesn't even make sense that you would even say that sentence. That what it should say is that it says, despite a growing sophistication of cyber threats, more than 97%, they should start off with, because of the 97% accuracy with which and efficacy which they use password attacks, other cyber sophistication attacks aren't really necessary. And that's how that rolls. That means the vast majority of malicious sign-in attempts in the organization might receive are via large-scale password guessing attempts. Right? We've already kind of talked about what's going on with that, right? Don't reuse passwords. New password for everything. Always MFA. Use authenticator apps over SMS text. I mean, this is the playbook, right? And then, of course, if you, I mean, it's called a hardware token. And if you really want to throw down with some security, that's what's up, right? I know that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. I've already laid out the playbook that the regular average everyday Joe and Jane is not down with. And you throw a hardware token on top of that, and they just look at you. They put up two fingers like two hands, and they say, "The lines must be read between, good sir." And I go, and they're like, "You know the one I'm talking about." And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But man, do you like having your data stolen? Are you a huge fan of data breaches and people like pilfering your pockets and using it for identity theft? That's what you're down with? Okay. If you're cool with that, I'm cool with that. I'll throw that out there. If you're cool with having your identity stolen and going through all the rigmarole, ask anybody that's had identity theft if they're cool with that. They're gonna be like, nah, you see this YubiKey? That's what you see this Titan key? That's what's up. I guarantee they're going full lockdown if you've ever actually had to go through it. All right, then they use that to drop info stealers and do all sorts of bad stuff. Yeah, let's move on because that's really the crux of the matter. So good for you, Microsoft. Put the warning out there. Let's hit this last article, and then we'll move on to jawjacking.
CISA adds Adobe Experience Manager Forms flaw to its KEV catalog. This flaw has a CVE number and a CVSS score of 10.0. Adobe Experience Manager Forms is a component of Adobe Experience Manager designed to help organizations create, manage, and automate digital forms and document-based processes. It is commonly used in industries like banking, insurance, government, and healthcare, where collecting and processing customer data securely and efficiently is critical. Impacting versions 6.5.23, the flaw, which was addressed by Adobe in August, could allow an attacker to bypass security mechanisms and execute code. Remember.
All right, so this is a bad day for Adobe, isn't it, kids? That is exactly right. So CISA's got this getting added to the KEV, the exploited vulnerabilities catalog. That's when you know it's gotten serious, is when CISA's like, so y'all need to take a look at this, but that's none of my business. All right. So we got some CVEs or a CVE is tracked as CVE 2025-54253 with a CVSS score of 10. A 10. I'll stop there. It's known. Yeah, there we go. Adobe Experience Manager. So doing this forms thing, that seems fun. So filling out forms, doing forms used in banking, insurance, government, and healthcare, where collecting and processing customer data securely and efficiently is critical. Yeah, kind of is. The vulnerability is a misconfiguration issue that could result in arbitrary code execution. Okay, let's learn a little more about this bad boy. An attacker could leverage the vulnerability to bypass security mechanisms, so they get arbitrary code execution. So that's not good. And then they can execute code. Experts warn that the exploitation of this issue does not require user interaction. So when you look at this CVSS score, it's going to be like low, no user interaction, unauthenticated, over the network. This is just like basically push button, access my stuff, which that's not fun. This is nightmare fuel right here for anyone that's running this. According to bind operation directors, reducing this significant risk of known, explain blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. You're adding it to the KEV. Experts recommend the private organizations. Okay, so where's more about this says Adobe addressed the vulnerability in August 2025. Oh, that's right. Like all government agencies, they're just a bit behind. Like, if this is a thing, and it has been a problem. I know. They got some criteria for the bureaucracy, as it were, and it might be good bureaucracy. Some of it's good, and some of it's just red tape. But if this has been addressed as of August, we'll say beginning of August, best case scenario. So all of August, all of September, and halfway through October. So you've had 2.5 months to actually address this thing. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Listen, I get it, right? It's one thing to wait a couple of days and wait maybe a week, have some test systems you run it on, check, is that working? Looks good. I don't see any issues. Got a couple of test users. Hey, do you report anything odd? Everything's rolling like you think, oh, yeah, everything's fine. Then cool. Deploy to production now. Right? As soon as you got some, like, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking? Confidence. Once you've got some confidence, at least to some extent, that things are rolling well, then go ahead and get that joker out into the production. So there you go. That's a fun one. If you are running the Adobe, Experience Manager forms, you better get, like, this is a go patch, like stop the music, pencils down, run to the servers, patch, run to the devices and the hosts on your network, patch, right? Patch. It went in your head, didn't it? It did. It's fun. That's how I control you. Mine is an evil laugh. All right. So there we go. That is today's news. That was kind of fun. But as we know, it is the jaw to the jacking time. It's time to do that. So let me get this little thing up here, and I will roll that intro. Thank you for watching the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. We will be moving right into jawjacking with yours truly. If any of the ride or dies out there want to join with me, by all means, if you've got the link, you know what to do. Have fun. If you need one, let me know, and I'll get you in here. But let me go ahead and get the jawjacking intro rolling.
Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
All right, everyone, welcome back. It is Jawjacking time. This is a lovely little AMA section where you guys just ask questions, drop cool comments, and just have some conversation around cybersecurity. Going to be a lot of fun. I just received a text. I don't know if someone wants to join me, but let me check. Y'all get going with those questions while I look and see what's going on here. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'll do that. Let me get the link. I'm gonna invite somebody here. Let me get that over here while you guys are spinning up the questions. I'm gonna drop it to you in chat, or not chat. I'm sorry, in Discord, if I can find you. All right, make my life a little bit easier here, and just do a search. And there you go. Cool. Well, I'll get somebody in on here, and then we'll have a little good time. Clear that out. All right. So now that that's done, let's do some jaw to the jack in. Let me look at see, I actually did see someone asked a question and I just missed it. There it is right there. And this comes from Tony Parrish. Hey, Daniel, how do I access your Pentest Plus course link? That's a great question. Let me grab that for you. Let me go get it. And I will make it happen. Give me uno momento. That's right. I have created, for those of you that don't know that are watching, I've created the complete Pentest Plus, which is a fairly comprehensive course to help you study and prepare for the, where's the, yeah, there it is, view all products. For the CompTIA Pentest Plus, the current version of that, which is PT0-003. Now, you don't have to do it for that. Hello, I'm hitting view all products. I love when computers just throw you the double birds and go, that's not what I'm doing. And I'll get you this course link here. Let me grab that, copy that, let me throw it into the chats and paste. Can't post message. Oh, on some channels. Okay, cool. Let me know if that popped through. Yeah, looks like it did. Awesome. That should be it, if I'm not mistaken. It's the first time I've had to like be in control of that. So hopefully that takes you rid of it. Let me know if that doesn't work for you, Tony, and we'll get you in Discord or something like that, and we'll hook you up. But all you have to do is go to academy.simplycyber.io if that doesn't work. And then from there, you'll see a link that says, I got to go all the way back, view all products. You view all products, and then from there, you can just search through and you'll find the Pentest Plus course. But we do a lot of hands-on stuff, and we try to have some fun. I'm not the kind of dude that really enjoys, because I've taken a bunch of training myself. Everybody has to take training. Even trainers take training. I'm going through training right now. I'm taking the RTO, the Red Team Operators course from 0 Point Security. Been great. My one big complaint there is that it's just a wall of text. I'm reading a book. Every now and then I get a lab and I get a video. But I would have loved a full video course with some engaging, fun, exciting, like really having a good time. And that's what I like to do in my training. So that's what you're going to get if you get my Pentest Plus course, is me acting like you saw today, just having fun, cracking jokes, doing voices and being silly, but really trying to hammer home demo heavy kind of learning, right? Visual learning where I'm showing it to you. Even if it's conceptual, I'm doing everything I can to kind of wrap some context around it to make it much more easy to like assimilate into your person, right? So thank you for asking. I appreciate it. I hope you do find it. And if you do purchase, I appreciate that as well. I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's see here. Getting back to questions. Let me find where I was. Okay, where was I? I am a crazy person. There it was. I saw it. All right, looking for questions. I'm not good at finding the questions. Jerry is amazing. All right, there we go. I'm finally at the spot I am. I don't like Restream's chat function. I wish it had a way for any of you that want to be a part of this to make it easy for you to show it to me. Tech Grunt. This is just good information from Roswell, UK right here. Patching a well-known exploit within 90 days should be a basic corporate liability standard, not a CISA directive for a critical component. I know. Why do you got to have the government tell you to do this? Like, let's be legit. What is going on there, right? But corporations do what corporations do, right? They be corping. That's how it rolls, I guess. All right. We've got, here's a burning question from Cheddar Bob. What's for lunch? That's a good question. I think I got burritos. I think I have some frozen burritos. Horrible for me, but hey, what are you going to do? All right, Tony Parrish. Oh, he's still asking for the Pentest Plus link. Hopefully that got to you. Like I said, if not, you know what to do. Go to academy.simplycyber.io. And you'll be able to hit that view all products and you'll find it there. Where's the monster drink for today? No, I'm not drinking coffee. This is water. This is water. I don't like coffee. It's disgusting. Hot brown dirt water. It just does not. My palate is not a fan. The real Kyle says, I like to call it the Supreme Pen Test Plus course. Because it has all the toppings, right? It's got sausage and peppers and mushrooms and all sorts of fun basil. And yeah, it's that good stuff. It's the ultimate, the supreme. Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate that. All right, here. Moving on. Tuck Grunt says, Daniel, double birds. Yep, you got 2 eagles right there. Do you giving me 2 birds? Is that what's going on right here, Tech Grunt? You nut job. All right, don't forget, if you have cyber questions, you can do that too. We're just having fun talking to each other at this point, which I'm fine to do. It's your show. This is your time, kids. You use it as you like. All right, Space Tacos got a question. Will you commit to teaching your next course in any or all of your fun accents? I vote for your Midwest that reminds me of the SNL skit from Da Bears. You know, that's probably where I got it, honestly, just growing up listening to Chris Farley and Mike Myers and George Wendt and all them doing, you know, Da Bulls. So what's wrong with you there, Bob? I'm just having a heart attack. Oh, yeah. It's my baker's dozen. It's 13 today. Here, have a sausage. Put a sausage in there. That'll help you. Thanks there, Bill. I appreciate it. Yeah. Doubles. Da Bears. Great stuff. I have no problem with committing to having that in there. Space Tacos. If I remember to do it, of course, which I probably will just out of instinct, the next course I do will have a Midwestern accent of the Bulls, the Bears kind of thing going on. All right, let's see here. Alicia Grimm. Is Alicia or Alicia? Alicia. I hope I'm getting that right. Alicia. I think that's what it is, but it could be Alicia. Bug bounty platforms require ID verification with license, passport, or biometrics by third-party vendors. Is this like the T app or Discord being hacked with the new UK law? Is it worth the risk? I mean, that's up to you, right? Everybody's risk appetite is different. I held off from verifying LinkedIn for up until recently, like legit. And if you are a bug bounty hunter, and that's what you do, that's something that you feel is worth the investment and the risk, therefore, is worth doing all that stuff, then that's what you do. If you don't, you don't necessarily have to go to some, Bug Crowd or HackerOne and work on those platforms. You can go to just scour the internet for bug bounty programs and disclosure programs that are visible on their company website. And you can find the scope and you can find everything. It's something that you can do. It's just more difficult. These bug bounty program platforms make it easy for you to look through scopes, find open scope platforms and stuff like that. So you can go start testing a whole lot quicker than it would be if you just tried to do all that research on your own. Maybe you could create a AI agent that can scour the internet looking for and basically build your own platform, right? See, this is how AI is now. You need to make it work. That's what's up. So hopefully that helps. I don't know if it's about the UK law. It's probably got something to do with it, honestly. So you say, I'm just making sure I read everything because I'm horrible about just skimming over questions. Bug bounty 5, they require ID verification with license, passport, or biometrics by a third-party vendor. Is this like the T app or Discord being hacked with the new UK law? Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on there. They probably just want to make sure that the people on their platform are legit, and there very well may be laws behind what's going on with that, just so they can say, maybe if you were a threat actor and you started doing bad things, they could say, well, here's the person. It's a deterrent from people going, hey, I'm going to go hack like an idiot and do it the wrong way and not in the scope that has been given to me on my bug bounty platform, so on and so forth. All right. Sorry if that's not a great answer to your question, but What are you going to do? Where are we at? Where are we at? Questions, comments, really fun stuff. This EMF says, hot brown dirt water is the best. Good. I'm glad you like. So that's one thing anybody that knows me really quickly can figure out, and you'll learn about me if you just met me, is I do not argue people's opinions. I learned that lesson as a younger man. I was about 22 and I was arguing. I used to argue with it. I would argue with a stop sign if I didn't like what I had to say. Right. That's just how I was. I got into this argument with this 16-year-old girl about Seinfeld. And I was telling her that her opinion about Seinfeld was wrong because she wasn't mature enough. She didn't understand the comedy, the cleverness, so on and so forth. And she said, it's my opinion and you can't argue my opinion. And I was like, she has a point. So I no longer argue opinions. You like hot brown dirt water? All the best, right? That's your thing. You do you, boo. And I actually like it that you like it. That's the cool thing, right? There's everybody gets to be their own person and kind of be, march to the beat of their own drummer and have their likes and dislikes. A guy named what looks like Bob 303 says, how do you live with yourself knowing that you're a coffee hating masochist? Quite well, thank you. I appreciate the concern though. But let's see here. I'm intrigued that you drink water out of a coffee cup. It just is kind of like easy to drink water out of a coffee cup. Like coffee cups are really easy drinking vessels. There with the last of my water. Hating coffee is the ultimate sin, says Christopher Ryan Reigns. Oh man, I have stirred a hornet's nest here. It just does not taste good. I would venture a guess because I like to, in real life, when I get to talk to people about this, I go, so you drink black coffee? And the black coffee drinkers that I've met, they go, yes, I do. Right. And I go, cool. Yes, you actually like. But I would venture a guess that about 80 to 85% of the people that I meet that say they love coffee, got to have coffee, coffee's the thing, and you're weird if you don't like it. Yes, hand up, guilty. I am weird. I get that. Everybody loves coffee. I just don't. But 85% of the people that I've talked to about this, and I go, so how much like sugar and cream and caramel mocha latte things do you get? And they're like, whoa, yeah, I gotta put that stuff in there. I go, so you don't actually like coffee, you like a coffee flavored milkshake. And yeah, that's good. I can go straight up, go to Starbucks or whatever and get one of those frappuccinos. That joker, that's fire. That's excellent. There's so much sugar and cream in it. It's legit a milkshake with just a hint of coffee flavor to it, which I can stand because the sugar masks the bitterness of the coffee. And that's fine. Like, if people that like coffee like it black, that's someone that likes coffee. In my opinion, in my personal opinion. Keep it on. Boy, we're cyber talking today, aren't we? All right, here we go. Look at this. Tech Grunt lets me know. Just learned about CompTIA launching Macintosh certs on their platform, covering aspects of doing IT troubleshooting on Mac. I think that's phenomenal because Apple used to have the AS. I always want to call it the ASPCA, but it's not that, right? They used to have these certifications for Apple certified support technicians, right? I think that's what it was, something to that effect. And they were great. And we used to do those at IT Pro TV. And it was super awesome. You know what I want to do? I want to get my main man FedEx in on here on that. What's up, FedEx? How you doing today?
What's up, everybody? Can you hear me well?
Oh yeah, we got you loud and clear, 5x5, brother. What do you think about this whole CompTIA coming out with an A+ cert, or not A+, but a CompTIA certification specifically for Apple support?
I think it's actually not a bad thing. I mean, there's a lot of Apple people. People actually like Apple. There is the reason why we like Apple is because the ecosystem is easy to the end user, and it protects it. I mean, out of the box, even though you have an admin account, applications will not run until you authenticate or elevate your permit. So out of the box, immediately will say, "Oh, you need to authenticate," which will stop a lot of the malicious things that are threat actors trying to confuse with Windows. Because if you are an administrator on your Windows account, you don't need to elevate permits. You're already an administrator. Whereas Linux or the Mac ecosystem, it does protect people a little bit. So I guess it will protect, it will help mom and pop or under the what is it, Aunt Dorothea, Jerry's aunt, to actually click and authenticate.
Yeah, going to be awesome. I think that it's going to actually do really well. I think that they were smart to do this because, like FedEx said, there's a lot of shops that are running Macs now. Like Mac used to be kind of very niche. It was much more just in either you were a developer, you were a graphic artist, or somebody in the media side of things. Typically, were the people that ran Macs. But now Macs are kind of like a thing that people like, and they're buying them more and more. They run really well. People have gotten to where they like the operating system. I'm not one of them. Again, unpopular opinion. I hate the Mac OS. It does not gel with me. I've used it since 2014, like on a daily basis. And to this day, I'm just like, this thing, I do not know what they are thinking of it. It's like they are trying to do everything as backwards as possible. It is
Yes.
not intuitive to me.
And I love Mac. I started in a Mac shop. Graphics, videos, churches, CEOs, actually, all the executives love Mac. So I love my Mac. I love my Mac ecosystem, especially because I can integrate, my cell phone, my Mac, my media player, and I had kids. I mean, I got an iPhone, so then I can control what they can and cannot in there, and it makes it dumber proof for me. But again, I work on a Windows, so then I work in both aspects of the time. And even in Mac, I always had a Parallels or a virtual machine that will run some Windows programs because there's stuff that we cannot run on Mac as what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hardware fire. Hardware is amazing. They make if not the best hardware, in my opinion.
Yeah. If you compare to the new Mac Studios machines that has unified memory, I mean, they are at the top of the AI graphic cards that had unified memory because now you're using that compute power right there to do your AI processing, and it's just good. But you're paying the price. You're paying for the slick package. You're paying that white label. You're paying for that beautiful experience of opening the package. I mean, it is beautiful to open a Mac product. It is something that when you open a Mac product, you're like, whoa, it's nice.
I bought quality.
Yeah. Well, it can still be garbage. It's just the way they pack it is so beautiful. It gives you that experience. You're like, wow.
Well, and I think that's why a lot of specifically laptop, and even like I've got these two mini PCs over here. They look like Mac Minis, right? Everybody's trying to like capture that Apple aesthetic, and that's because it speaks to people, right? It's beautiful. Everything about it just looks like for me, it just looks like top shelf stuff. And it is top shelf stuff. That's the other thing that it doesn't just look like it's awesome. It is. I just other than the operating system, it's pretty. Does a lot of pretty things.
Yeah, a lot of companies are actually trying to market that ubiquity, unify systems ubiquity. If you notice their packaging, they're actually were Apple developers who started that company. So they took that mentality of packing and they deliver it to you almost the same style, and you're like, wow. And people doesn't even get upset. I mean, Mac start removing, Apple start removing the headphones, start removing the jacks, start removing the charging ports. Now you have to buy the external thing, and people still don't care because they like the product. So they make you buy accessories for you to be able to use your machine, and they charge you an arm and a leg for the accessory.
Yeah,
And yet
remember
people
when
don't care.
the Mac Tower, if you wanted to put rolly wheels on it, the official Apple rolly wheels for the Mac Tower was $900. And that right there was when I was like, So I like your hardware, but I don't like it that much. And I'm just going to go over here and I bought some mini PCs for the price of your rolly wheels. I've got 2 mini PCs, 1 terabyte NVMe, 32 gigs of RAM, you know, all great specs. These things run like a champ, and I got 2 of them for the
Yeah,
price of your rolly wheels.
and we know other vendors are like that. You go and buy a Windows machine, and if you're not a heavy consumer, high-end consumer, you can get a decent laptop for your kid for $300-400, $600. You know, and
Exactly.
it's gonna have a really good RAM, good memory. It's gonna be a killer for the kid. You know,
Yeah.
and so that goes to say, is you paying for the marketing, you're paying for all that stuff, but when it comes to the CompTIA, they're actually getting in marketing something that Apple does really well. Apple pays their employees really well for their Apple support. Apple support employees are well trained, well known on their operating system. They got a really good base, and they get paid well. I mean, when you get start a entry level job for an Apple, what is it? Support guide and start paying over $20, $30 an hour. And most of the times you can work from home. It's leveling the field.
Yeah. All right, we get some questions here. Here's a question. We got a little bit of time left, and then I got to go because I'll have to be doing Cybercast IRL today at 10 a.m. So I got to get that set up. So we'll go to like 9:30 ish. I'll push the envelope.
We can stay until 10 and close it out without you.
Yeah, but I won't be able to spin up my own thing fast enough to
It's the
get
FedEx
started
code.
at 10. All right, let's see here. CyberStater says, heard of any protocols yet that actually help get to RBAC least privilege with AI agents? I hear some protocols thrown around, Spire, Spiff, OBO tokens, CB tokens. I have not heard of any of this.
I mean,
FedEx, you got any?
me neither, but I can tell you one thing. When it comes to AI, everybody wants to put the latest and say they had the latest. And it's still a technology that is evolving a lot. Even James McQuiggan mentioned in IRL cast the other day that, you know, we have the Murphy Law where it was 18 months, and now every 3 weeks there's something new when it comes to AI. So I had yet to see those protocols. I haven't even looked at or researched on it. I can tell you one thing: if they're actually putting those protocols, that also means that somebody actually trying to break into those protocols. That also means that that there's a reason why they're trying to create all these things. Even Son Altman from the GPT or ChatGPT actually say, OpenAI say that vulnerabilities on AI will still be for years to come. Even though they patch and they get more and more advanced on the technology, it's still going to be a vulnerable stuff. It's a wild card.
Yeah. I'm not even really getting. I would have to look specifically at those protocols where like SPIRE, SPI, FFE. I don't even know what those are. Here we go. Spire and Spiff concepts. Spiff is the secure production identity framework for everyone, and its implementation, Spire, provide a framework for issuing cryptographically verifiable identities known as SVIDs, Spiff verifiable identity documents, to workloads including AI agents. These identities are used to establish secure multiple TLS authentication between services, enabling strong identity-based access control. While an AI agent starts, or when an AI agent starts, it receives a unique SVID that contains cryptographic proof of its identity, including its workload representation, location, and applicable security policies. So there you go. I mean, I guess these things are starting to work their way out there. Like kind of like FedEx. I'm just kind of behind the 8 ball on this one. I have not. Nothing has traversed any of my feeds that are like, here's some new AI RBAC protocols and policies and things of that nature. So I'm glad you brought it up. Now we can all kind of write these down and go do some research.
In other words, it's the foundation for zero trust. They're trying to do a zero trust foundation with these models. And you got to understand one thing, especially when you go to agentic AI, you giving the agentic AI credentials, you giving the agentic AI permissions. So you already are bypassing a lot of the security that we put in place for humans, because we put MFA for humans. We actually put a I'm a human, or check this bot, or check this thing. Whether it's when you're using an agentic AI, you had to give those credentials, you had to give them the permission, you had to give them the answer. So you already bypass all these protocols. So in other words, it seems that these actual protocols, what they're trying to do is enhance the actual security on it, because we're given something to run automatically. And so, yeah, it's kind of scary when you give an AI your credit card and let them go run wild.
Yes, that is not something that I relish. But a lot of people, I'm the kind of person, I'm a very risk averse person. I do not have a large risk appetite. Let me just throw it out there. I'm very paranoid and cynical by nature, and I think that has served me well. But there are pros and cons to that kind of lifestyle, is that I kind of miss out on being an early adopter on a lot of things, just because I don't like to adopt things until they are at least in some way mature. So I saw Network Chuck last night, and he had posted something about how he built an AI agent to basically monitor and repair anything that, I forget which system that he was using, but it basically has SSH creds. What's that?
It was in his own network, yeah. He
Yeah,
gave the access to the AI. I mean, I've been playing with NAN, and I actually created an NAN system that comes and email me every morning with CTI's new fed. But even when I created that, I had to give them a access to my email, and then I had to create an actual account token for Gmail. And the first thing the Gmail said is, hey, this protocol bypass everything. You're like, your MFA, you set up and everything. So make sure this 46 characters token never gets revealed, and save it for yourself. Like, but you're still giving it to the NAN. I'm literally trusting that NAN. I'm really trusting that NAN doesn't,
Yeah.
So there's a question right here. There's a question right here by Tech Geek. Let's see if I can bring it out.
Yeah, well, I've got one that I need to get to, and then I'm gonna have to. Well, if we got time, we'll get to the next one.
Well, this one is about your course, so you should answer this one.
Yeah. So, this is the one I have, Tech Geek. Yeah. So here we go. It says, I bought your course. How long do I have access to it? For someone who works in IT and wants to transition into cybersecurity, is your course a good starting point? So if you've worked only in IT and maybe you've done a little bit of security stuff, I don't know where your security background is at this point. I'll assume that it's very low. If you've got security fundamentals underneath your belt, then yes, it'll be fine. You should be okay. You should be able to get in there and start learning things and start adding some pen testing skills to your repertoire. No problem. If you do not understand basic concepts like the CIA triad and single sign-on and web application, if you don't understand at least some understanding around networking and web and things of that nature, and the more deeper levels, you probably need to get a fairly, at least beginner familiar with Linux and Windows, understanding the protocols that they use for authentication, like Kerberos. Not Linux, but I mean, you can do Linux with Kerberos. Anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole. I'm spiraling because I'm pressed for time. But then, yeah, you're going to be good. You're going to be great to go. If you have yet to really cross the threshold over into some security, then I would start there first. Go get the the Google security certification or Security Plus or something like that, or at least study for that, and then make your way over to my Pentest Plus course. So I don't want you to buy it and be like, oh, I'm out of my depths. I don't know what's going on. I don't know any of this stuff. And then feel like you wasted your money. I do not want that to happen. I would rather you wait and purchase it later and be happy with it than to feel like, oh, I shouldn't have bought this and never complete it, and just feel like you're completely out of your depths. So,
but the access expired.
What's that?
Did the access expire, or is
it is lifetime for and even after? So I will probably create a new version of that when the PT0004 comes out in a couple of years. I think it's going to come out. So you got some time for PT003, as it is the most current offering. So, but even after the exam expires from CompTIA, you'll still have access to that. So Jerry does lifetime access in Simply Cyber Academy. So hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully it gets you to where you need to go, helps you make the decision. And I like informed decision making. That's my idea. And so thanks for asking that question.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing. You can actually find a better affordable training somewhere else. I mean, we'll probably spend that much in coffee. Good coffee, Bustelo.
Good coffee, right? Man, I got them lit up with the whole coffee talk, didn't I? People were like, I am a sinner. I'm unsubscribing to Daniel because
Yeah,
he doesn't like
I
coffee.
mean, you don't drink coffee, you might be a psycho. I don't know.
Yeah.
Personal opinion.
Yeah, right? It's
Obviously,
like when they go, so we found 45 bodies underneath his house. Were there signs? Oh, he was quiet, kept to himself. Didn't like
he was
coffee
drinking
though. It
monsters.
was surefire sign that something was off with the guy.
He just likes monsters. He likes monsters.
He just likes Monster. Is that so wrong? Am I not allowed to just enjoy the tasty beverage that is Monster Zero Sugar?
What is the color today? Or do we have to wait until 10 a.m.?
You gotta wait. That's part of the fun of it. That is part of the fun.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, I am. It's what I do. It's my job, and I excel at the position. All right, let's see here.
Simply Secure, 9:30 a.m. Oh wow, you gotta bounce. Let's go to Simply Secure. James McQuiggan.
That's right.
We
James,
have an
thank you
episode.
for reminding me. Oh my goodness. Bounce to James McQuiggan, Simply Sure. Right now. Go. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Ray.
See you next time. Let me get the outro here because that is how it rolls.
See ya.
Bye.